This is Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance in San Diego County today, joined by Serge Dedina. He is the mayor of Imperial Beach, which is where?
We're at the south end of the county. We're the last beach town in California, right on the U.S.-Mexico border. We're surrounded by water and open space. We're a city of 27,000 people, 4 square miles, and we're also the safest beach community in Southern California.
How'd that happen?
Well, you know what? Our sheriffs, we have a great relationship with the Sheriff's Department. They have been bringing down crime and arresting the bad guys and just doing a great job of being really smart about law enforcement. So it's been a pleasure to work with them and also to really eliminate blight in our city and just turn blight into beauty.
Tell us about how you, the city officials, the residents relate to our friends south of the border. I mean, like you said, you share a beach, no?
Yeah, you know, we have a great relationship with our friends in Mexico, with the city of Tijuana, which we're going to sign a friendship agreement with the city of Tijuana.
Really?
After I got elected, we signed a friendship agreement with Rosarito Beach. We had a binational arts and music festival on our beach called Fiesta del Mar. So we have a really great relationship with Mexico. I'm the new chair of the Borders Committee at Sandag, and really part of the San Diego Tijuana team that understands that by working together, we grow our economy, we improve our environment, and we have a better quality of life on both sides of the border.
Now, when you go to the beach and you approach the international border, can you walk to Mexico, or is there a barrier?
So there's an actual fence that goes into the ocean, but you know, with my kids, I've gone down there and surfed, and you actually kind of almost surf into the border fence. But it's the south end of our beach is called Borderfield State Park. It's an absolutely gorgeous area filled with wildlife and open space. In fact, one of the great walks in Southern California you can do is to walk from our pier. When the right conditions are, we have a low tide and small surf in the summer, you can walk all the way to the international border at Borderfield State Park. It's a great, great walk.
So are you able to interact with our friends? I mean, I don't know that right over the border is Tijuana.
So in terms of through the border fence, well, the Border Patrol controls. A lot of families go down to Borderfield State Park to actually talk through the border to their friends and family. If they haven't seen, if they can't cross the border. And I was at the border last summer with my wife, and the little kid actually came through a space and danced around and then went back in. So, but what's interesting is the lifeguards in Tijuana a lot of times will make rescues right next to the border fence, and sometimes they'll get washed across the border, and the Border Patrol has an agreement where they let them swim their victims back across the border. So our lifeguards and Tijuana lifeguards work really well together. The fire departments of San Diego and all the fire agencies worked really well together. So obviously there's a long history of cities working together on the border. Regardless of what happens in Mexico and City, Washington, here we're friends, we work together, we grow our economy, and we preserve the environment.
Speaking of the environment, there was recently an incident with regard to a Tijuana sewer pipe, is that right?
Right, that broke.
Give us a sense of what happened. I guess it was in early February.
Yeah, so in early February we started smelling a pretty bad odor on our beach, and then residents of San Isidro and South San Diego also started smelling of it.
Are they also on the coast?
Yeah, well, no, the Tijuana River flows from Tijuana from east to west, so it actually goes from east to west and it ends at our beach. And so that river flows at the south end of San Diego County and then reaches our beach. So it flows about 3 or 4 miles through South San Diego County. So right through,
and into Mexico, obviously.
Into Mexico, right past the international border crossing in San Isidro, right next to San Isidro in South San Diego, and then into the beach at the south end of Imperial Beach. And so what happened was the residents of South San Diego could smell something. Our lifeguards and residents could smell something at the beach. So we knew there was something going on. And so we asked federal authorities to let us know what was going on. Unfortunately, we didn't get any response for about 2.5 weeks, and then we were finally notified that there was a pretty large sewage spill that happened sometime in early February. Right now, the International Boundary and Water Commission is investigating actually what happened, but for us, what the spill really highlighted, and just so you know, the beaches were polluted from just north of Rosarito Beach all the way northward to Coronado for about 20 miles. So it was a pretty major incident. In fact, this morning I saw Mayor Richard Bailey of Coronado, and all the mayors of South County, including Mayor Kevin Faulkner, have been very supportive of efforts to clean up the border and find a solution to this problem, and also address other issues such as air quality and border crossings and growing our border economy. So this is part of a larger issue to really clean up the border and make it more efficient and a better place to do business and to have a good quality of life. So right now we're working with authorities to identify a plan to actually upgrade the sewer system in Tijuana.
But were the beaches closed as a a result of this spill? I mean, how dramatic was this?
Yeah, so just to give you an example, this year alone, Silver Strand State Beach in Coronado was closed for 35 days. So this is a pretty big spill, a pretty traumatic incident.
What about IB?
IB has been closed even longer. So now our beaches are open. But
how were you able to get them open?
Well, the sewage problem was fixed, and so now the beaches are open. So we no longer have raw sewage flowing off the Tijuana into our beach.
So the grander question is, it sounds as if you have strong relations with the folks in Tijuana. That being said, I think it's fair to say that Mexico is probably not feeling great about its northern neighbor, the United States, as a result of the new administration in Washington. And so do you feel, if I can use a terrible cliche, like you're swimming against the current when you're trying to deal with this situation specifically, or the generalized situation of creating positive relations with our neighbors to the south?
Well, you know what's great about San Diego and Tijuana is that we've just got a really strong team that has sort of bucked that feeling, and it's really trying to highlight the importance of working with Mexico. So from everyone from Chamber of Commerce leader Jerry Sanders, our ex-mayor, and then Mayor Kevin Faulkner, to the mayor of Tijuana, the governor of Baja, our own governor Jerry Brown, all of our congressional delegation, and mayors like smaller beach town mayors like myself, even the city of Coronado and the city of Chula Vista, we're all committed to this relationship because we know how important the border economy is to our economy in San Diego. We need to have those. There's thousands and thousands of jobs in San Diego that depend on cross-border relationships, and frankly, we need to have those relationships strong so that we can have a strong and great environment here, especially along the border.
I believe you. I do believe you. But I also know that these jobs arguably are at risk because the new president has been pretty clear that he wants to change our trade relationship with a variety of countries, including and especially Mexico. Now, arguably that could be to the benefit of the United States, arguably, if we bring jobs back, whatever that may mean. But that could present its own challenges because a Mexico that's in a weakened position, and the reason why we have less migration from Mexico because their economy is doing well. But if we start to pull jobs out of Mexico, their economy could suffer, and then they start coming over.
Yeah, so obviously everyone's concerned about the impact of presidential policies and national politics on the cross-border trade here in San Diego, Tijuana. That's why I have a trip coming up with,
tell us about that.
With the San Diego Chamber of Commerce. Every year, the San Diego Chamber of Commerce and the Tijuana Chamber of Commerce take a trip to Mexico City to really promote, along with federal officials in Mexico City, the importance of promoting cross-border trade. So I'll be there with Mayor Kevin Faulkner, the mayor of Tijuana, and civic leaders and economic leaders from both sides of the border. And we'll be meeting with high-level officials and high-level economic officials in Mexico to really talk about the importance of maintaining these ties. Look, the reality is we've had these relationships for a long time, regardless of what happens in Mexico City and Washington. So, I'm really proud of the fact that in San Diego and Tijuana, we're committed to these relationships. We're committed to growing our economy. We're committed to protecting our environment.
Right.
And that's a model for not only the rest of the U.S.-Mexico border, but frankly for the rest of the planet. And I'm really glad that this border relationship that we have here really demonstrates the importance of working across boundaries and working together to solve problems.
I believe you. I just wonder in our final moments if a city or a state can trump, if I can use that word, federal policy.
I think it's not going to be easy, but I think there are a lot of voices in Washington who are asking for the president and other folks to moderate the tone and understand the importance of this cross-border relationship. This is a North American economy. Right. And, our economy and economic linkages across the border predate NAFTA. There were always border assembly plants.
We'll have you back. He is Serge Dedina. He is the mayor of Imperial Beach. I'm Brad Pomerance. It's Local Edition.